So about 3 or 4 years ago, I discovered Logic one night while doing my art homework. One song came on at random on Spotify, and it led to me putting on his Under Pressure album. I ended up going through the entire album and fell in love with it from just one listen. I was absolutely hooked on this album, and this led to me going back and listening to his mixtapes such as Welcome to Forever and Young Broken Infamous. Before I knew it, The Incredible True Story was released, and then half a year later we were given Bobby Tarantino. I still thought Under Pressure was by far the best of his most recent projects at the time, but I still thoroughly enjoyed his music. Before school I would listen to him, walking to school, in the shower. I had this guy on nonstop for a long period of time. I always respected and appreciated Logic's flow, his tenacity, his vibes, and overall how he presented himself. Then everybody dropped, and I feel like Logic completely changed overnight, no pun intended. Every interview Logic was in, I just found that he seemed so fake and even somewhat corny. Everything was peace, love, and positivity, and by no means do I think that is a bad message to spread. I just feel that Logic used it to somewhat be a shield for criticism. As I'm sure you all know, on this album, Logic made songs dealing with suicide, race, and mental health, and from what I take from that, is that Logic did this just to try and reach a much bigger demographic. He tried and succeeded in making a project that wasn't controversial and that the main portion of society will look at and be like, oh, well, how can you hate someone who makes a song about anti-suicide? Logic basically just told people what they wanted to hear, and I think that's kind of a sellout move on his part. He got much more into the spotlight with this and even got his first radio single in 1-800, the song about suicide. And real quick, I don't understand that song. I'm sorry, I just don't. Maybe I'm just fucking stupid or ignorant, but what part of that song really makes that person decide they don't want to kill themselves? All I hear is, I just want to die, I don't want to be alive, which then turns into, I finally want to be alive, I don't want to die. The song changes just like that, and I don't understand what part of the song just triggers that change. I don't get it. And I'm keeping an open mind. If you're someone who, by listening to this song, was changed by it, that's awesome. And please explain to me what happens in that song that alters that state of mind, because I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Now, back to why I've grown to dislike Logic. So after all this success, Logic was still with the whole non-stop peace, love, and positivity, aka the message where if you don't like Logic, you're an asshole. And it seemed like the old Logic was mostly gone at this point. Then in March of 2018, Bobby Tarantino was dropped, and I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy this project for the most part. It was on at a bunch of parties I was going to, and I had hope for Logic moving forward, but a month or two later was the dagger for me. Logic dropped one day, and here we go, once again with Logic making a whole political stunt. For me, I personally like to use music as an outlet from things. One of the things that music can take you away from that is very hard to get away from nowadays is the whole political division within the United States. But here's Logic dropping his one-day music video where the video is illegal immigrants trying to get through the border, white supremacy, and a bunch of other political bullshit. Cause a line like, yeah, feeling just like I'm at mass, yeah, I'm coming for that ass, really fits into a video about the immigration controversy. I just want to listen to music, not if someone's political agenda is shoved down my fucking throat. Like I said, this was the dagger for Logic with me. I listened to his newest album, Young Sinatra Four, but I really didn't care for it. I'm not saying Logic can't express his viewpoints because he has every right to do that, but there comes a point, in my opinion, where just enough is enough. Overall, I think it's kind of sad how Logic changed in my perspective. We saw this kid from Maryland who didn't stop at all costs to make it in the rap game. He was underground with amazing lyricism, tenacity, and he seemed to completely lose all of that. Logic became just another public figure who doesn't challenge their listeners anymore and just panders to what the mass majority wants to hear. That's all I have for this one. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.
Tell the feeling like I'm trapped in my damn mind. Tell the feeling like I'm rapping a damn lie. Tell the feeling like my life is a damn game. Nigga really wanna die in the nighttime. Only time I feel pain when I'm feeling love. That's why I tell it on my face that I'm down on. Only time you come my mind when I'm all alone. That's why I'm never really alone in the nighttime.